Hi folks, I'm Krishna and I welcome you on my YouTube channel. In this video, we'll be specifically talking about three golden rules of accounting, and these three rules are very much important for all those people who are very new to the concept of accounting, as well as for all those people who are sitting for the interviews, because this is a placement time and it is an important question which is generally asked in an interview. So you should be go through with this concept, and because there are also journal entries that could be asked in an interview and where you need to be very frequent and correct as well. So directly getting dive into it. So the three golden rules are basically the fundamentals of accounting. So it tells you about how you should record a journal entry in the books of accounts. It tells you the rules of debit and credit, and that's the reason it is also known as rules of debit and credit. So if an interview asks you that way, don't get confused. So it tells you about the rules, like which of the when a transaction is there, so what should be debited, what should be credited. It tells you about that. Rule is real account. So you can learn this with saying that real, so something which is real. So the principle says, the rule says that what comes in should be debited and what goes out of the business should be credited. So you just assume yourself as a business and see, if the thing is coming to you, it should be debited, and if it's going out of you, it should be credited. So for example, if you have purchased any machinery or any asset, so what's coming to you? It's coming to you that specific machinery or asset, and what's going out of you? Obviously, you have purchased it on cash or bank, so that should be credited. So the entry should be machinery account debit to bank account or cash account. Likewise, there can be any asset that is being purchased, like furniture, car, motor car, vehicle, or any other asset. So you can record the same entry with this. But here maybe some discount entry can be there, some some other kind of entries could be there. So we'll be taking it in the end, where there is a little complex entries, but for the sake of simplicity, we just take a very simple and sort of like entry here. Moving to the second principle, which says, second rule. I don't know why I'm using principle word every time, but it's rule. So you have to follow it as it is. You cannot mold it according to your situations. So you have to follow these rules as per they are given. So the second rule says, uh, it's basically named with nominal account, and it is talking about it's talk about your income and expenses. So whatever the expenses you make, you incur, should be debited, and whatever the income that you generate should be credited. Here a point should be noted that these two, like, there cannot be possible that in the one entry you are making income, and in the on the same entry of the credit side you are making expense. So it's not like that. So you have to follow any one of the principle, like any one of either debit income, or you will be having expense. So you first have to classify whether it's an income or an expense. So if it's an income, you should credit it, or if it's an expense, you should debit it. For example, if there is an employee working you and you are paying him salary, or his salary is due basically. So if you are paying salary to your employee, salary is an expense, salary account debit to uh, bank account. Obviously you're paying out of bank or cash and pay. So here we are done with two principles, and hope you have understand the concepts. Again, I'm saying we'll be taking entries in the later one, in the later part of the video. The third principle says personal account. A business deals with many people at the same time, or many people at different times as well. So here the case is, how should you record those entries in which a person is involved. So the person can be involved in the case if it's a credit sale or a credit purchase, means purchase, the purchaser or the seller has not get or paid the cash right away, but he has asked us to pay or to give money later on. So in the cases, I hope you have understood what I just said. So basically, if it is a case of sale, and the seller, so basically we are the seller, and the purchaser ask us that he will pay later us. Okay, so he is not paying us right away, he will be paying us later. So in this case, we'll record that person name in our books of accounts, so that we can remember, okay, we have this much amount of money is due on him and we'll be taking him later in the, okay. So in all those cases where we are not paying right away, but we have to either pay him later on or we have to receive money later from him, so we record that specific entry, either it's sale, purchase, or any other expense or any other income or any other purchase, like it can be purchased for fixed assets or any other thing. So in all those credit purchases and sales, we record that particular transaction with the name of the person on which either the money is due or the money is about, or the money or the person who owes money or who owns money. In both those cases, we will record that transaction on the name of that person. Okay, so here, for example, if you have given uh, goods, okay, to Mr. X, and he said that he'll pay you later on after a week or after a couple of weeks. So in this simple case, you'll record. So the rule says, I just forgot to mention about the rule. So the rule says whosoever is receiving should be debited and whosoever is giving should be credited. So receiving, like whosoever is the receiver of goods, cash, anything. So whosoever is beneficial in this case, whosoever is receiving should be debited and whosoever is giving should be credited. The simple principle is, okay, we'll talk about it later on. So simple is that here in the case, I have given goods to Mr. X for worth for rupees 5,000 rupees. So here Mr. X is the receiver of the goods. So Mr. X will be debited and to goods or to sales, because I am making sales. So sorry. Okay. So hope these three principles are clear to you. We'll be taking some examples here, and these examples are there on your screen. Cash bought in by the proprietor or the business or the promoter, main owner of the business, as capital. So what's coming up to you? Cash is coming up to you. So cash account debit, the first principle is being applied here. So cash account debit, and see here nothing is going out, so you have nothing to mention about credit, but you can see the rule 1, the debit side of the entry is filled with cash, and you're correct using rule 1. Okay, so here what is coming in general sense? Capital is coming, so to capital account. Okay, so hope is this entry is clear to you. We'll take another example. So for example, if you have purchased good from X of worth rupees 5,000 rupees on credit, again the entry I just shared was for sales. Here the entry is of purchase, and here what's coming up to you? Goods are coming up to you. So rule 1 is applying here, and also you are purchasing it on credit. So rule 3 is also applying here, because you have to record it with the name of purchaser, with the name of the person. So Mr. X again is here, and he is the giver of the goods. So whosoever is giving the goods should be credited. So Mr. X should be credited. One side is settled, credit side is settled. But about debit, so you are purchasing, so purchases account debit. So you have to just settle one side, another side will be easier for you, because you can see the another side with the help of transaction. Okay, so furniture is purchased. Again the first principle rule apply here. So whatever is coming to you, furniture is coming to you. What's going out of you? Cash is going out of you. Okay, now we'll take some examples. Commission is received in cash. Commission is received. Obviously, if it is receiving to you, it's your income. And rule 2 applies here, and rule 2 says whatever the income you are making should be credited. So you are receiving cash, so rule 1 again apply here, cash account debit, because you are receiving cash. But to commission is your income, and rule 2 says that all your income should be credited. So to commission should be credited. Okay, again this entry, cash withdrawn from a bank. So what's coming up to you? Cash is coming up to you, but what's going out? Nothing is going out, but your bank balance is going to decrease. So here cash account debit to bank account. Okay, another important entry, bad debts written off. So bad debts written off. So Bad debts are basically all those, like just I said about credit sales, where you give sales on a credit and he'll pay you later on. So in all those cases where he's not able to pay you later. So he does not have money, he has proved insolvent. So all those cases, that particular debtor, or that the group of debtors is considered as bad debts, and they are removed from the books of account. So what's going out of your books? So your debtors are going out of your books because they are no more, because you're not going to receive money from them. So your debtors should be credited, and what should be debited then? As I said, you just have to settle one side of the transaction, another side will be easier for you. So bank debt account debit, bad debt, sorry. So bad debts, because they are coming to you, they are no more good debts, they are bad debts. So bad debts account debit. So basically first entry can be settled just by looking up at it. Otherwise second, the credit side is important. Yeah. uh, will take a little more see that cash paid to the creditor in full settlement, and amount due on Mr. X was 5,000 rupees, and paid him 4,950 in full settlement. So we have to pay one Mr. X, to whom we just said for 5,000 rupees. We said that okay, we'll pay you 4,950 rupees for the 5,000 that you had due on us, but we'll pay you 4,950 only, not 5,000 rupees. If you ready to, like, if you're ready on this term, we'll pay you right away. So he agrees, and now we have to pay him 4,950, and the 50 amount is our discount which we have earned, so it's our income. So the 50 amount should always be credited because it's our income. Rule 2 apply here. So you are paying cash, so what's going out of you? Your cash is going out of you. So cash again gonna credit. So cash account debit, sorry, cash account credit with 4,950. And what's gonna, again there is 50 with this, you have earning also 50 rupees of income, so 2 discount received 50. And what's gonna be debited? So the particular creditor to whom we have to pay. So Mr. X. So see, we have 5,000 due to Mr. X. So we pay him 5,000 rupees, but we actually paid him 4,950, and 50 rupees was the discount that we received, that we earned basically. So hope you have enjoyed this video, and if you have any doubt, you can ask me to the comment section. And if you really like this video, please do like and share, and I'll bring fresh content to you every now and then. Thank you.